Grace, come on down. All right, everybody, let's... Is that okay or too high? I'm short. All right. Thanks. Yeah, that's good. All right, so there I am sitting on a plane in the window seat flying across country, and in the middle seat next to me is my father, who's passing gas in that silent yet deadly fashion that we're all so familiar with. And I'm kind of this combination of mortified and annoyed, because I'm annoyed that I have to sit here in this enclosed space and endure the stench, but I'm mortified at the thought that the people nearby might think that I am the source. But at the same time, I'm trying to be understanding, because ever since my dad had his gallbladder removed, within about 30 minutes to an hour after every meal, he gets extremely gassy. Sometimes it's smelly, sometimes it's not. But we're on this plane, and it's bad. And so we're clearly, perhaps we're not the most likely of travel companions, but after my mom died, my dad and mom had been married for 43 years, and after my mom died, my dad decided that he wasn't going to wait around anymore and he wanted to start traveling, but he didn't have anybody to travel with. So, I'm single, I don't really have anybody to travel with. I agreed, okay, I'll be your travel companion. So for the last 3 years, we've gone on a variety of trips, at least for a week each summer. And so this was one of our trips. This was 2 summers ago, and we're on the plane, and he's farting up a storm. And And I am just so annoyed. And then he turns to me and he's like, "Oh my God, I lost my money." And I'm thinking, how could you lose your money? How did you lose your money? And we've started to reach that stage now. He would not be happy to hear me say this, but where the roles are starting to shift. I'm becoming more of the parent. He's becoming more like the child. And so when we travel, I do all of the arrangements and the planning, and I get the tickets, and I give him a packing list. And then by the time we're on the trip, it's like I'm sort of the mother hen. And so, we're on the plane, and he's like, "I've lost my money." And I'm like, "How could you lose your money?" And then I remembered my dad was very concerned about losing his cash, so he's got this money belt kind of thing, which is this little pouch that has a loop that hangs off of it, and he loops his belt through it and then flips it inside the waistband of his pants. And so we're sitting there on the plane, and we're trying to figure out how could he have lost this, and we're trying to retrace our steps, and we think maybe it was at the security checkpoint. So then we start to revisit our time through the security checkpoint at the Portland airport. And I remember as we're approaching the checkpoint, I say to him in my motherly tone, "Okay, now make sure you take everything out of your pockets, put it in your carry-on. Just don't have anything in your pockets." He's like, okay. So I go through the line, and I'm getting my stuff off the conveyor belt, and I'm putting my shoes on, and I turn around, and there's my dad going through the scanner, lighting that sucker up like a Christmas tree. And I'm like, what part of don't put things in your pockets doesn't he understand? And they're like, "Sir, can you step to the side?" So he steps over to the side, and they're like, "Can you tell us, is there something in your pocket?" And he's got these, he's so excited, he's got these new shorts that he got from LLB, and that have these huge cargo pockets on the side. And he reaches into one cargo pocket, and he pulls out his wallet. Then he reaches into the other one, and he pulls out this quart-sized bag of peanut M&Ms that I'd given him for snacks. I mean, literally huge. And then they're like, "Is there anything in your shirt pocket?" Because he's got this fly fishing shirt on that's got 75 pockets. And he pulls out his iPod and his earbuds. Again, nothing in your pockets. "Sir, do you have a belt on?" He takes off his belt. So then they send him back through the scanner. He sets it off again. And I'm just shaking my head like, oh my God, what is wrong with him? And so then they're like, "Sir, do you have something in your back pocket?" And he pulls it, "Oh yeah, that's my hanky." And they're like, "Sir, can you step over to the side here? We're gonna have to wipe down your hands and put them under a scanner in case there's residue." Like my 77-year-old father would have bomb residue on his hands from his hanky. So anyway, back on the plane, we've determined it must have been when he took his belt off that the money belt fell, and he must have lost his money. And so we're very silent and dejected, and he's still farting like a crazy man. And so he decides he's gonna go to the bathroom, but he says to me in what can only be described as a stage whisper, "I've got to go to the bathroom." And I'm like, it's about time. So he gets up to go to the bathroom, and he comes back after a while. And as he's walking down the aisle, he catches my eye, and he gives me this smile and a wink and 2 thumbs up. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, great, there's not going to be any more gas, but did he have to tell everybody on the plane? And I must have had this really horrified look on my face, because he's like, "Oh, no, not that, not that." And then he sits down next to me. He's like, I found my money. It had just shifted around in the back of my pants. So we're all excited. And that was great, because luckily I didn't have to be the parent and foot the whole bill for the trip. And I guess, my dad and I aren't the most likely of travel companions, but I guess the good thing is that we're just making some good memories for me to have. So.